Oye, te habla tío Sabio Vega. This is Sabio Vega and you watching True Heel Hit a mi manera o para la calle.
Hey guys, it's Stan Rosa and welcome to True Heel Heat.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for our AAA TripleMania 33 review, breaking down the first major event of AAA under the WWE banner. New look, new production, same old shenanigans and main events though. But yes, we are here to discuss it all with you as only we can. And to do that, I am joined today by my esteemed colleague, my co-host over on the True Heel Heat flagship podcast every Saturday here on the channel. It is your boy, the True Jaw Josh. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I tuned in yesterday. I was like, oh, I know I got nothing to do. This show's free on YouTube. Might as well check out the fuckery. And, you know, it wasn't as much fuckery. I'll give them credit, but there was some fuckery.
I appreciated that a lot of the fuckery was like what WWE has become very reliant on as of yet late is run-in style attitude era finishes. They saved it all for the main event. Usually, if Konnan was in charge of everything, he'd be doing it all up and down the card, and there'll be shenanigans finish after shenanigans finish. They saved all the shenanigans for the main event, so I appreciate that change from AAA.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, and then even like the funny stuff that they did was like more tamed. It was entertaining. It was, you know, for clicks. You know, that's what they were doing. It's not like a bad, you know, like a bad funny thing. It was like, all right, like this was by design. It worked out. You know, there's some cool stuff I personally enjoy about the show, regardless of how I feel about AAA. But, you know, when we get to it, we'll get to it.
Absolutely. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on this video. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the comments section if you want to leave your thoughts on TripleMania 33. We got a lot of feedback from our preview of TripleMania, so we might be doing more stuff on AAA now that it's under WWE's umbrella. But we want to hear from you if you're with us live as well. So sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. Hear your thoughts on AAA's TripleMania 33. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got Clown in the chat with us today saying afternoon, everyone. Afternoon to you. We got Zach, our resident person who knows the day of every day. He says it's National Pineapple Juice Day. SP3 and everyone. That is good to know. I did not know that. We got Power Driver Finisher who says it was a good battle royal thing. He says loved Omos, Microman, and Pinella. Laughed my ass off. American fans hated that one. There's a lot of things in Lucha Libre that American fans it's just not going to be for. And Pinella, it might be at near the top of that list. But I enjoy it. Because I'm used to Lucha Libre. I'm used to the little people. I'm used to all of that. So I enjoyed most of the show. Despite going into this show with low expectations, it exceeded it again. And I think that's the key with WWE AAA. We have to go in with low expectations, and they're gonna usually succeed it. They got a few like a year or two before we start raising the expectations.
Yeah, and then you know, even like look wise, production wise, you could see they did a lot of changes. Believe me, compared to like the shit we usually see, you could see the big difference. I kind of felt like they kept it simplified, but you could tell it was like the WWE like moniker of it, which is a good thing. That's the whole point of WWE owning AAA, that you want to put your little touches in it, you know. As much as people wanted to keep it the same, it's not going to stay the same. It's WWE at the end of the day. So it's one of those things where you kind of had to accept, you know, it is what it is. They own 51% for a reason. So they're going to do what they feel like it's best. So, and last night was kind of a nice teaser, you know, again, like I like the stage. I like how the stage looked, you know, with the big logo and the way like they did it, like the design of it. It was cool. I mean, hey, man. When it comes to this AAA, I mean, when it comes to this TripleMania, I'm telling you, it was a breeze compared to previous. Like,
yeah, like there's a certain point in all TripleManias, you're like halfway through and be like, is this like the worst show that I ever watched? And the last TripleMania regime was like that, where it was only like 4 matches, and I was like, is this the worst show that I watched this year? So this was much better. Like I said, I went in with low expectation, but still, I would say wholeheartedly, this is a good show. It's a good show. If anybody's going as high and being like great show, that's when I'll have a little bit of an argument.
Like,
if anyone saying this is a bad show, I'm probably having the same argument. This is in the middle. It's good. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, we could. If I was on here, I'll trash it if I had to. But, you know, again, there are some things that I dislike personally. But, you know, I'll give credit when it's due. You know, everybody knows I'm not the biggest fan of AAA. More so because of how they run shit. But, you know, I'll give credit when it's due. And last night, you know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the most part. There was nothing low about it. There was nothing, like, really overly high. You know, I just wanted it to be, like, presentable. and it was presentable with their again some of their shenanigans, but it was kind of like it was clean. It was a kind of a clean, polished kind of thing to look at. Now it probably fooled a lot of people because I tell people I'm like, no, don't think this is what AAA was about. Don't let that WWE moniker fool you. I'm telling you, I'm like, you want to tune into AAA, you got to watch the last few years of TripleMania. Just watch TripleMania for the last few years. Just watch the show.
That's what most fans only watch is TripleMania for the most part, and if that's bad, they don't waste time on anything else. Billy Lee, who is one of our members of the channel, he says, I enjoyed most of the show. Not the same AAA I watched on the weekends when I was a kid. Certainly not. It's certainly not going to be that. And this was through and through. Within minutes of watching the show, you're like, this is a WWE production. This is not. We're not in AAA anymore. This is a WWE production. This is basically them doing NXT Mexico without calling it that.
Yeah, and I'll give Graves a lot of credit. He had to carry 2 trash bags, and he was actually great himself while doing so.
Graves, man, this has been the best thing for his reputation and how he's going to be remembered and known as a commentator. It's like when Triple H took the seat instead of Vince McMahon was for Michael Cole's career. This basically doing the lead commentary for AAA is everybody being like, you know what, that Corey Graves, he's actually really good.
That's true.
It's actually pretty good.
It's true, but I mean, to Graves' credit, he has been a lot better. I've been enjoying his stuff a lot more. Even when he's on Raw, I'm like, please keep him there. I don't want to hear Pat McAfee. It's gotten to that point.
He's definitely an upgrade from Pat McAfee. I mean, anyone except for probably the 2 people that Graves was at the desk with would be an upgrade from Pat McAfee. Those are probably the only people Pat McAfee is actually better than in 2025.
Yeah. I have a whole lot to say about that because, man, it was rough. Hearing it.
We got Chili Chase. He says the funniest English commentary team ever. Konnan being lost as hell. JBL back with his random yelling. Corey Graves doing all the work.
Shit, Konnan, not only he was lost, but it was he was like a child. And it's just bro, especially every time he has to say, oh, can I explain why he said that? Or can I say something? Just fucking say it.
He raises his hand can I say something? Can I say something?
Yo.
Can I say something, master? Can I say something?
And then the stuff that he says is and then the stuff he says really adds nothing. I think that's the worst part, where it's he adds nothing to the commentary team. No. I would prefer, honestly, it was so bad that I'd rather have somebody who never watched AAA and then they commentary and just run with it and I probably prefer that than have fucking Konnan, who's been there, who's been the booker. And then it seems like he doesn't know shit, or he just doesn't add nothing to it. He adds absolutely nothing, even with the so-called knowledge he has. It was bro, it's fucking watching paint dry. I'm get him off, please. And that wasn't even the worst part. That wasn't even the worst part, in my opinion.
Yes, that's exactly what he does. Roger Fisher says he tells a whole ass unrelated story. That story had nothing to do with this, sir. He did that twice on last night's show.
He did that, and then I remember he mentioned about I want to see where this goes 5 years from now, and then he's like, can I explain why I said that? And then he's bringing up hip hop and in the Bronx, how it started in the Bronx, and I'm like, oh my god,
I was like, where? How did we get to the Bronx? I was like, I'm in the Bronx.
I was like, what? I was like, what is this man talking about?
He was all over the place. God, it was entertaining though. See, you gotta understand, there's an art to being a bad commentator, but you're entertaining. Sometimes it's cringe with Konnan, but goddamn, it's entertaining as hell to me. I laugh. I laugh at most of his just nonsense and rambling. Then when he wants to be heel commentator, it's like he flips a switch and he just goes ham with like cheering the heels and bad mouthing the fans and whoever's the superstar that he's going against. Like, yeah, I he's at least entertaining. He's gotten to that Konnan, that Booker T level. Of course, they both work together in WCW, where they're so bad they're actually good because all the bad shit they're gonna do.
You get clips from them, and it's like that's where you run with. You know, it's not like, but it's like it's still one of those things where it's just like, oh my god, I'm like, this is the man that shits on Tony Khan all the time. Like, bro, like you gotta look yourself in the mirror because man, you're awful in every way. Especially when you think, oh, this is not going to be Americanized, bro. That shit last night, there was a big percentage I was Americanized. I'll tell you that much. So I'm like, that shit, his thing out the window. Like, bro, like.
Yeah, like the whole main event was all the run-ins and stuff like that. That was like American 101. Just because you threw a lucha mask in there, that's like becoming so Americanized.
Yo, that's how I felt. About the main event, because the main event was actually decent. Like when it came to that,
the main event was, spoiler alert, best thing on this show.
Yeah, it was decent
in the ring.
Yeah, because they had some of the best workers. Like they had some of the best workers in the ring for that match. But then it was like that. I think that's why it was kind of like a little off. I mean, I'll leave it for when we get to that, because it was like certain things I was like, should you have done that? Maybe, but we'll get to it.
All right, let us know in the chat. Like I said before, send those super chat donations and show us some love here. So, what is your one word, one phrase to describe your overall thoughts on TripleMania 33, Josh?
I would say passable. Like it was above average. Exceeded my expectations. I have very low bottom of the barrel expectations, and it passed that. So that's all I can really ask for.
Yeah, I thought my one word, one phrase would be perfectly fine. This was a perfectly fine show. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Somewhere in the middle. You can land at fine, solid. I'll go as far as good. But perfectly fine is what I would go. But you get within a few minutes, you see that this is a WWE production for the longtime fans. I don't know if that could be off-putting or not, but it did make for a more pleasant viewing than past TripleManias I've watched. The AAA executives, as well as Triple H, Nick Khan, and Shawn Michaels were all in the ring to start the show, leading into the Mexican national anthem. This is the most I've seen Nick Khan on WWE for these AAA shows. We get the walk-ins of the major talent on the show. Then we're introduced to the AAA announce team for the English side, Corey Graves, Konnan, and JBL. And they get the ring announcer, Jesus Zuka. And Konnan will also be inducted into the AAA Hall of Fame during this show. But we're going to kick off the show with the Copa Barda, which is basically their version of the Royal Rumble. It's 14 competitors. It starts off with 2, and then it's time intervals. After that, we get La Parka is the first out, and he's out with Laredo Kid. But eliminations can go by going over the top rope or also by pinfall or submission. You get Joaquin Wilde of LWO was in the matchup. Albiso Negro Jr. was in the matchup. Taurus, which is their new version of Taurus, which if you're an AEW fan, I know that was fun to see. You get an Arrow Star in this as well. After his performance at Worlds Collide, we get the first elimination was Laredo Kid eliminating Aerostar with a 450 splash. We get Mega Wolf, Cruz del Toro of the LWO is also in this match. Wolf eliminates Wild by throwing him over the top rope after spraying mist in his face. We get Otis, who starts running wild. He throws a few people over the top rope and down to the floor. You get Penella coming out here to a huge pop. One of the biggest pops was either for Otis or Penella. And Penella does a little dance with Otis, and they start working together. Taurus was then eliminated by a double team by Penella and Otis. They start dancing, they tease kissing until Otis basically grabs her in his arms and he gets pushed and he drops Penella to the floor, both feet hitting the floor. You get Cybernetico, you get Microman in this one. Shout outs to Microman, who has done one of our drops. Now we're going to play it more because you're a star. You became a star in this matchup. After fighting off elimination, Cybernetico was eliminated by Otis. You then get Omos making his return to in-ring action, and this time making his debut in AAA. You see how his Noah training is cheating him in this one. He starts tossing off a few guys here. Then you get finally, he eliminates Negro Jr. and Del Toro, and out comes the last participant, who is Octagon Jr. We get a big face-to-face confrontation between the biggest star in the matchup and the littlest star in the matchup. Probably the scene in this matchup that is getting the most kind of play and viral feel from this whole entire show is Microman and Omos. So great job there with the visual here. Microman takes advantage of Omos taking care of Otis and does a big splash and picks up the victory, eliminating Otis. Then Del Toro is eliminated by Omos. You get Omos lifting poor Microman into the air and then dropping him on some flues, eliminating both of them. And then you get Parka, who eliminates Wolf, and Omos eliminates Octagon Jr. So it comes down to La Parka, who was the first one in, and Omos at the number 13 spot. They go at it for a little bit. Eventually, Omos is actually fought onto the apron, but he grabs La Parka into a chokehold, pulls him over the top rope to get the victory. Omos is the Copa Bardal Cup winner. This was just a fun battle royal. They had the nice viral moment with the Omos and Microman stuff. I thought Penella was great and got a big pop, and Otis looked good in this matchup, and this probably is a better place than Monday Night Raw for him to be able to shine, and he got a good reaction with his offense and everything like that. And Omos getting the win makes sense, and a little bit of kind of a reward for them just playing around with his whole wrestling career and just putting him on the bench for a year. But what did you think?
I mean, it was a fine matchup. I mean, I don't expect much from battle royals. Usually battle royals is usually like a clusterfuck anyway. But they did this one fine. Everybody had an entrance, so you kind of got to see them, and then seeing some surprises. Otis, I thought it was a little nice surprise because he did like his little stuff, comedy stuff. And then Omos, it was cool seeing Omos. Do I think Omos is like the best in the ring? No. But, I thought he was doing good things in Noah, and I felt like he probably should deserve some kind of like compensation sooner if you're gonna take him out. So, seeing him was pretty cool, and having that moment with Microman. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on when I saw that? Like, I was like, what the fuck? But it was cool. Like, that's what AAA is about, and there were some people who did not like what they saw, especially when it came to Otis and this girl, like this lady that was at the end of the day, this is what this is you guys learn about AAA. This is who they have. This is their roster. This is the people. So you can't, it's one of those things where you can't have that mindset of trying to Americanize everything, because how American fans are spoiled. They think they have an idea of what they want in wrestling or how wrestlers should look. Not everywhere is like that, and AAA is like the opposite of that. So AAA is the opposite of that. So it's one of those things that fans who never watch, you're gonna have to get used to it.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be for everyone, but it's just fun. And some of the stuff, and this is like lucha libre culture. Like it's just fun stuff, fun characters that stand out, and like you get this when you get a bunch of cool pops, and you see how over people like Panella is, or someone from WWE like Otis getting that big pop. Like they were very much into. It's fun. It's kind of funny, like the whole microcosm around the main event and the reaction that got, but like they boo the guy that they feel WWE chose, yet they always cheer all the WWE guys. It doesn't make a lot of sense, I will say. Mexico, no offense, Mexican fans, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Y'all booing Vikingo, but y'all popping for Otis and Omos and all these undercard WWE guys who are coming over here and just running roughshod over your roster. That doesn't make too much sense to me, but to each his own. You get Chilling with Chase, who says this battle royal was fun. Only complaint is no random table spot like normal from a AAA battle royal. It's because they're teaching them pacing. You don't have to do that in 2 different matches. You could do it in one, and so they saved the table spot for the tag team title match. And we got here, Dion Jenkins, who says Omos about to be the next AAA champion. He's the person who's going to dethrone Vikingo, guys. And watch that get a huge pop from them. These people don't make any sense.
You never know.
It's going to be huge. They're gonna love that. A Power Driver Finisher says Omos is one of those that is good for media and whatnot, so I never really needed Omos to be a world beater, but this is a perfect use of Omos. Yeah. There we go. All right. Let's talk about the rest of this show after the Battle Royal. We had a big title match as the Latin American Championship was up for grabs. It's Elio de Dr. Wagner Jr. or Wagner 3, as most of us call him, versus El Messias. So these two have a long history with one another. Messias was one of Dr. Wagner Jr. The third, one of his father's biggest rivals, and his father was in the crowd for this matchup and would eventually get involved after Dorian basically got involved in the matchup several different times. It was the original Dr. Wagner Jr. who punched his lights out, took him out of play. This left Messias in the ring with Wagner Jr. the third, and it was a nice little matchup with heavyweight battle. You get Dr. Wagner Jr. the third with a big superplex, and then he follows up with a second Michinoku driver or Dr. Wagner driver for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory here and become the new Latin American champion. This is his first title since coming to AAA late last year, and I said it when we were doing the preview. I said it when we were doing final predictions for TripleMania on the Flagship podcast. He's one of the guys that they kind of have to build around. They have to build that like him as one of the future stars of AAA. So this makes a lot of sense on this first big show under WWE's umbrella. But the Battle Royal, I probably give 3 stars. This one I give 3 1/4. It was decent. It was a decent little like heavyweight battle, and it had a nice little story in the background to it. So I enjoyed it. What did you think?
The matchup was fine. I'm familiar with Dr. Wagner a little bit. Some of his matches, but then also, this was a guy that WWE was trying to get, even before the sale, even before the acquisition. So, this is kind of their chance to build him up. They kind of what they wanted. So this kind of works out for them. Where it's like, hey, we got our guy now. So I think this is kind of like a stepping stone. Nice little thing they could do for him. I too did pick him in our predictions, just because, like, again, knowing the background, knowing that this was the guy that they kind of wanted before he signed with AAA. This is kind of, it kind of made sense to put two together.
Yeah, it makes sense that this is going to be one of the guys that they kind of build this new era of AAA around. Giving him the Latin American Championship is going to put a spotlight on him, hopefully. And he's probably going to be a guy that we eventually see like making appearances on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, like we've seen from Mr. Iguana and Psycho Clown. So we'll probably see that in the future. And yes, Dion Jenkins, you are correct. El Macias is Judas Macias from TNA fame, and also Mil Mortes from Lucha Underground. So,
yep, yeah. There's a lot of people who didn't know that until like last minute. They're like, "Oh shit!" So it's kind of funny. I was like, "Yeah, he's been around for a minute. He's been around for a long time."
He's one of especially with AAA. He's one of their like OGs. He's one of their OGs that's always been just kind of around and doing his thing, whether it's, a side project like Lucha Underground or whether it's in Mexico, which he's made a name. He's a legend there. So, then you had that match. Up next, you get Chuy Martinez, who has an interview with the Judgment Day. Judgment Day are talking about their matches later in the show, and they are approached by Rey Mysterio. Ray and Dom start disrespecting each other in both English and Spanish, which was fun. And he basically Dom tells Ray that he wants him to sit front row and watch him do something that he's never done and become the greatest Mysterio of all time when he wins the AAA Mega Campeon. So Ray says he'll see him later. We get a cricket ad with Penta airing. So there you go. And we also see a celebrity named Natalya MX, an influencer. Like with their other properties, WWE is leaning heavy into that culture, it seems. And then we get the trios matchup. The Judgment Day, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Raquel Rodriguez with Roxanne Perez in their corner versus Nino Hammerberg Soul and Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice. This one was kind of a part of what AEW fans would call a party match, but a party match for AAA fans. This is what they would like. They are big fans into Nino, so he played the babyface in Paro. Then you get him tagging out to Mr. Iguana, so Mr. Iguana starts cleaning house with the big hot tag, which led into another viral moment on this show as Finn Balor was fighting Iguana, and he was beating him with the help of Yaleska, and we see Finn Balor has something on his hand that has a AAA shirt on it. He takes off the shirt and it's revealed to be Di Momento, his own puppet done up as his demon character. Iguana was perplexed. Di Momento ate the iguana. Yes, that is what we saw. He ate the iguana. Hamburger then brought in 2 hamburgers and gave Balor one, which led to an iguana enziguri to knock him out of the ring. Hamburger then hit a tope suicida on Balor and McDonough after an iguana dive, leaving Vice and Rodriguez in the ring together. But it was Raquel who got the better of this one, hitting the Tejada bomb for the 1-2-3 for the Judgment Day to pick up the win there. The finish was not the best, but this was a whole bunch of fun. You can't help but watch a match like this and at least just crack a smile when you see Di Momento. Fun stuff. I gave it 3.25 stars. What did you think?
It was fun stuff, despite of how I feel about Mr. Iguana. Like I said, he has a very punchable face. There's just something about him I don't like. He has a very punchable face. Hey, I didn't say I hope he gets hit by a car. I just said he has a punchable face, But the Finn Balor stuff was pretty hilarious. It was like so random. But then you kind of figure out.
You could tell he's having the time of his life.
Yeah, it was pretty. You know what it was yesterday, right? And it's one of those things where I necessarily don't agree with the notion, but there was people You know, he had the puppet. There was people who loved it, but then you had the other side of fans that were like, this was once Prince Devitt. Like, you know, they're trying to use like his past of like, this guy was great. He was, you know, he was part of greatness, and now he's resulted to this, which I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's really fair because, you know, it is what it is. You know, he's having fun. I thought it was a fun concept because I didn't think of that. But then you kind of find out later on that it was, you know, they're selling the puppets on the website already. So it was good marketing, you know?
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. You know, but everybody's gonna make their money some way, somehow. It's business at the end of the day. I respect the business.
I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
I agree, Dion Jenkins. He said he wants to punch Mr. Iguana in the face.
No, I said he has a punchable face. I didn't say I'll do it because I'll go to jail.
I mean, there's one can infer from what you said that you would like to punch him in the face. Just saying.
I mean, that's low key, but I didn't say
it. Dion says, I don't think Balor cares about being a top guy at this point in his career. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could tell he doesn't. And I'm happy for him. He's making money. He's living life. Got a beautiful wife. He's good. He's good, y'all. He's good. I think he's fine. And yeah, like Chilling with Chase says, this was a fun, empty calories match. Yes, that's the best way to put it. Empty calories. You don't have to go out of your way to watch it, but it was fun for what it was. We get Brian El Chalito Calderon, who is a singer with 1.1 million Instagram followers. Celebrities, yay. Then we get the AAA World Tag Team Championships up for grabs. Los Garza, Angel and Berto defending against Psycho Clown and Pagano. At one point, both Berto and Angel seemed destined to be released as they had no real fit on the WWE main roster. Yet this team has kind of been revitalized by this run with AAA, and this is one of kind of like the perks of all of this. This was a street fight, so there's kendo sticks, garbage cans, tables, chairs all around ringside. We get an impressive double press slam on Pagano through a non-Slim Jim table at one point. We get the baby faces working together, getting a big pop as Psycho Clown ripped off the face covering and it revealed a second part of the mask. Yo, you could tell how over Psycho Clown was. This crowd was great throughout the night, but I thought that this was when the crowd was really kind of like peak AAA like Mexican crowds that you hear every Friday night on Arena Mexico on CMLL. This was the type of crowd that we had like from this match on for the rest of the show, really. They get like the near fall and the big press slam. Pagano eventually spears the champions through a table as they were trying to suplex Clown through it. Pagano and Clown were put through side-by-side tables on the outside after a Jericho-style springboard dropkick by Berto, while Angel held both men on the apron. Some crazy spots down the stretch. Then you get Pagano. He pulls out some barbed wire. At one point, they had kendo sticks that were covered in barbed wire, but then he brings out a sling of barbed wire. He wraps Berto in it. Then you get Psycho Clown, who follows up. Pagano basically does a flip tope con hilo over the top rope, nearly hit his head on the apron, but he was able to hit I believe Berto, he was able to hit Garza, while Berto received the Spanish fly as he was covered in barbed wire. As Psycho Clown and Pagano win this matchup, huge pop on the finish. Quite the enjoyable street fight. This was a whole bunch of fun. All four guys went out there. They worked very hard, especially if you're going in this with like little expectations and then you watch this match, you're like, God damn, man, their tag team, they can actually do something. And I think this was a big boost for Los Garza, because they went in there, they held the titles, they got the rub of holding the AAA World Tag Team titles, being the first WWE contracted stars to win titles under the new regime, and then dropped it here in big fashion in a really damn good matchup. I go as far as I'll give this matchup 3 3/4 stars. Really good matchup, a lot of fun. The crowd was into it. I enjoyed this. What did you think?
Same. I thought the match was really good. I was surprised with the winners because I really thought Los Garza would retain it, just because them having the titles longer. You kind of figure like, oh, more eyes on the the product, the belts, But on hindsight, maybe this is the better move. Because Psycho Clown he's very over. He's always been over. That's never been an issue with Psycho Clown. But people who never realized it saw it last night. That oh shit, I really loves him. So overall, fun matchup.
I agree with Dion here. He says Los Garza are a much better tag team than LWO. They just need some decent storylines. 100%. Berto, Angel and Berto, they've always been great wrestlers. When they were even on their own, they were great wrestlers. But when you put them together, the sums was greater together than apart. So it made sense for them to be a team, but they never have gotten behind them. This whole run, even if it was just 2 months, it put a bigger spotlight on them, helped them to shine. They got the moment on SmackDown where they defended against Iguana and Psycho Clown, had a really damn good matchup here. So I hope that this leads to something more on SmackDown regularly for them, because they deserve an opportunity. Or they could just stay here in AAA for a little bit. Why not? We get Psycho. Gray Carter II says Psycho Clown is the son of Super Porky. So yeah, he's got the lineage there. And then you get Chillin' with Chase, who says this was my match of the night, vintage AAA style matchup. I want insanity watching AAA, not NXT Mexico. I mean, this was still leaning WWE style street fight. This wasn't I was like waiting, because I know I've seen my fair share of Psycho Clown in these like brutal style matches where he's like busted open through his mask and stuff like that. So this was still WWE tamed street fight, not really a AAA street fight to me. But we get up next,
Same.
I believe up next is Konnan. Yeah, I think it is Konnan. So yeah, we get Rey Mysterio, who spoke in Spanish, but there was an English translator as well, who was nearly impossible to hear. They got to improve whoever that was microphone. But he basically introduces and talks about the legacy of Konnan in AAA, as well as what he did for Lucha Libre and bringing it to the mainstream with what he was able to accomplish with WCW and what he was able to accomplish as a booker for AAA all these years, and that they wouldn't be in the spot that they are today. And this person is playing their music very loud because I can hear it from up here. But yes, he introduces Konnan. Konnan comes. We see a video featuring R-Truth, Norman Smiley, Road Dogg, Penta, giving their props in addition to a lot of WCW footage. Konnan thanked a lot of people and yelled at someone to sit down in the crowd twice. He then put over WWE management like a good good soldier. He said, assuming an increasingly English-speaking audience is the goal for WWE with these shows. So production needs to figure out like the certain stuff, because like sometimes you couldn't hear Konnan, sometimes you couldn't hear Ray. So you got to improve on that stuff. But this was a nice gesture, a nice celebration of Konnan. It wasn't huge or anything like that. I don't think it needed to be, especially on when you're doing it as part of a show instead of it's like standalone show like they do with the WWE Hall of Fame. But it was a nice little gesture to Konnan for his importance and where AAA is at and where they're going.
It got boring for me. I was like, wrap that shit up. It got to that point. Like I don't need that man to talk a little more. It got to a point. I'm like, bro, just hurry up, man. Like, you know, I don't need to hear you glaze this company already. Like, just wrap that shit up. It was cool seeing Rey Mysterio though.
It's like cool to see you, Ray, but fuck that dude you're talking about. Fuck the dude you're trying to celebrate here.
Legit.
I like the people that they chose for the video package. R-Truth and Road Dogg. I was like, I remember 3 Life Crew. I was there for that.
Oh shit, yeah. Damn. I mean, at least they got at least it's the random people. They'll get like random people, and it's like you got nothing to do with this. But it was cool. Like it was cool seeing that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fine for what it was. If you're a fan of Konnan, if you're not, I can understand if you didn't like it. Next up, we get the AAA Reina de Reyes Championship up for grabs as it's Natalya and Faby Apache challenging the champion Lady Flammer. A loss here would end Flammer, who has held the title for 735 days. Apache had Flammer pinned at one point, but the referee does this very, very slow count for which the story wasn't explained at all, but they just have referees who do that in AAA. If you watch AAA once, you will realize that they always have this one referee who does it, and they usually wear suspenders. Konnan did randomly say during the match that he can't wait to see what AAA is like under WWE's direction in the next year, 2 years, and 5 years. Natalya nearly got the win on a quick count on Apache, but Flammer took advantage of the distracted Apache, who had just hit a Michinoku driver on Natalya. So she swoops in, she gets her into a crucifix pin for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory and retain the AAA Reina de Reyes Championship. The finish, it was what it was. Once you knew that the referee was on his shenanigans, he was going to do whatever he can to help Flammer get the win. I just I don't have anything good to say about this matchup. It was very clunky at times. The finish didn't come off well. This was not the best work. And this was something that I mentioned when I reviewed Worlds Collide is WWE, AAA, they got to do their work on improving their women's division. Their women's division is filled with people that have been here for a while, and they don't have any like standout female wrestlers. So that's why they're going to have to rely upon WWE sending over the likes of like Natalya or people on the come up from NXT to kind of improve the women's division overall, because it's not that good.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I gave this 2.5 stars.
No, I agree. I think this was honestly, this was probably the worst match of the night for me. It was slow, like you said, it was clunky, but it was also very slow. Like it was just, I don't know even Natalya, like God bless her, because she was trying her best, but you could see she was trying to move with the speed as them, and they were slow. So it was kind of like that didn't help at all either. And then obviously the shenanigans, the rope, the foot on the rope. You know, people thought I was a botch. I was like, no, this is AAA. This is AAA 101. The referee was in on it. Because even like when Graves and Konnan were talking about it, I thought I was a little weird too. Because, you know, Graves was just being what he, and then the way Konnan went about it, I was just like, probably just shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know what you were trying to do. You know, it was just, but yeah, to me, it's not a good matchup. It really was not.
No, it went too long. It was like it was under 11 minutes, but that felt too long, which tells you everything that you need to know. If it went like 5 minutes, I think this would have fit in very nicely with like Divas era WWE. This was not that good. It was not that good.
Yeah, and it was just like, you know, and you actually made a good point about like the women's division, because a lot of the women's their talent, a lot of older talent. And usually a lot of in WWE, a lot of those when women reach a certain age, they don't wrestle like the way they do in AAA, and that's something they got to figure out.
I agree. I agree. They got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out soon because you're just going to draw attention to it if you don't address it in any way, whether it's like whether you're doing the tryouts, whether it's recruiting like from the indies, whatever they got to do with this. Will figure it out because I'm gonna be impatient with AAA because y'all got money now. That y'all said that's all y'all needed. All y'all needed was money and better production, and y'all got both of that. So we gotta finish. We gotta figure out this other stuff. You know, your booking is not that good to begin with, but at least have a better women's division than what you got.
Yeah, because they have been using like they've been using like Lola Vice. Lola Vice is still learning herself. So it's not like that's like the cure, you know what I mean? So it's like so it's like if you need like workers like Natalya or somebody that's pretty solid in the ring, that's all you really need to kind of build up that division. But yeah, a lot of people are not familiar with the women's division. I was just like, yeah, this is what you're getting with AAA until they clean it up.
Yeah, we just have to deal. We do got a super chat donation here from our boy Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says, do y'all think WWE needs to trim the fat, getting rid of LFG, AAA, TNA, Evolve, and just focus on Raw, SmackDown, NXT? Feels like too many irons in the fire. They have the personnel and they have the people to be able to do all these shows, but they just don't focus on one of them. They're splitting everybody up, so everything doesn't every freaking single entity basically feels incomplete. It feels like it doesn't have something that the other brand has. Like Raw has the talent, but sometimes the writing and the booking are not very well done, and it makes for a disconnected show. SmackDown has all the makings. It has the perfect time slot. It has the perfect timing. It's got a couple of stars, which is all you need for that show. But somehow the writing and the booking is not that good, and the roster's not that deep. So they have an extra problem on top of what Raw has. NXT has a bunch of young stars on the come up, but the writing is horrible. So yeah, so the main three brands, the main problem is the writing. So dropping LFG, AAA, TNA, Evolve, and all that doesn't solve the bad writing on all three of the main shows. And LFG is basically like a pseudo reality show, so that doesn't do anything. AAA is for the Mexican market, which is helping them for their global expansion. TNA is basically just a partner that they really own in secret. And Evolve is for their WWE ID talent and PC talent that aren't used on NXT. So everything has its function, and you can make everything work, but the writing is not good on the main three. That's the problem. It's not focus. It's just the writing's not good. You can have four writers on it. Adding two more doesn't improve the writing. Any thoughts?
No, I mean, I see where Dion's coming from, but I do agree that there are some purposes of keeping some of them. The only one I think that would probably get screwed, and I said it last night, I said it yesterday, was TNA. They're probably the ones that will get screwed because it's like if you already have NXT, you already have Evolve. What's the purpose of TNA when it comes to that? If they was to own them, so to me, you'll be trimming the fat with TNA, but LFG is more like a hybrid. It's like fucking Tough Enough. That's basically what that is. So that within itself, but it's a work kind of thing because they're WWE talents. Those some of those young people, they're already signed with WWE technically.
All of them are already signed with WWE.
Yeah, so it's like that's a nothing burger when it comes to like trying to like remove that, but that's more of A&E kind of thing. But besides that, like I do agree with it's more the writing, the booking has to be stronger, the writing, the whole aspect of what they've been doing with the main rosters has to just get better. NXT needs to find its identity. I think that's more their issue, is that the identity crisis. They don't know what the fuck they want to do. When it comes to NXT. So Again, Evolve is just more of like a stepping stone. You have the young kids get reps. It gives them a place to do that and to build off of that before they even get to NXT. I'm fine with what they're doing with that. That's fine. So I do see where Dion is coming from, but I do agree, like a lot of those brands, they do sort of its purpose. It's just a matter of how they do it going forward.
Yeah, definitely some good points being made in the chat. Appreciate y'all for joining us. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up on the video. That helps us out so much. Helps the YouTube algorithms, and let us know what you thought about AAA's TripleMania 33. If you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about TripleMania 33. And of course, when we're done talking about the main event, we're going to want to know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? But let's talk about that main event. Before the main event, they did announce that they will be doing a second Worlds Collide show this year, which is going to be on Friday, September 12th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's basically going to be immediately following SmackDown. Like, I was so confused on this. I was like, why are we doing a second Worlds Collide in the same year? One, and two, you can't do some fuckery and then do something like this, and it's just making me question why you didn't wait for like an AEW day to do this. I was like, what does September 12th have to do with AEW? I was like, that's what every WWE show announcement, I'm gonna be now being like, okay, it doesn't make sense unless they're trying to counter program AEW.
Yeah, and for me, it was more of like two. It was just kind of like you guys just had TripleMania. That's kind of the same like Worlds Collide because you had like it was influenced by WWE, so it's kind of like you're doing Worlds Collide. It's like okay, you're doing another one, but I'm like okay, like what are you gonna do different that you didn't do last time? And then the 12th right after SmackDown, I'm just like, that's kind of a random spot. It's such a random thing to do, but not my money.
I was very confused. I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense. All right. And then finally, we had the main event of the show. It is AAA Mega Campeón Hijo del Vikingo defending against Dominik Mysterio, El Grande Americano, and Dragon Lee. Americano had the best entrance of the four men, with him singing his theme song out to the ring with the fans singing along with him. Mariachi band along with them. The crowd absolutely loved him. You get Dragon Lee coming out with dragon wings and with a Chinese dragon. Then there was Mysterio, who was beloved by the fans, getting showered with cheers. And then there's El Hijo del Vikingo, who got booed as soon as he was shown on the Titantron. And he got props from Rey Mysterio and his father, who roundly got booed as well. Of note, commentary didn't say a goddamn word during the entrances, which was a good thing. Let the performers have their moment. Based on the reaction, people want either Americano or Mysterio to win this matchup. Yes, I have to give credit to Ludwig Kaiser, because he is excelling in Mexico with this Americano gimmick. Early on, you get Americano. He's talking trash to everybody, but Lee starts going off. He was a little bit off in the early portion of this matchup, missing some kicks and drop kicks in the corner. He and Vikingo teamed up with a not so heel, and teamed up on the heels in this matchup, who were getting cheered more than the baby faces before competing against each other. It's so wild though to hear like Vikingo booed like this. Like, this is like Roman Reigns in the mid 2010s, like boo and rejection that he's getting right now. Things broke down on the outside. You get the babyface heels who deliver a double power bomb on Vikingo through the English announce table. They also knock out one of the broadcast teams as well. You get the Judgment Day came out to distract Dragon Lee and hold him in place for a 619, but Americano broke up the cover. The LWO then runs out to even the odds, and the commentary team came back. Two of Americano's mysterious masked men, Los Americanos, they come out to aid the Grande version and nearly give him the win with a blockbuster on Lee. He then tried to load the mask, but Lee prevented it and dove onto the interfering parties on the outside. He hits Operation Dragon on Americano, but Vikingo comes in to break up the cover. Mysterio then put on his own Rey Mysterio Sr. mask. He loads it up with the metal piece that Americano was going to use and then dumps Vikingo to the outside. He headbutts Americano and Lee, nearly getting the pin on Lee with a frog splash, but then a masked man comes out and pulls out the referee. The masked man gets in the ring, takes off the mask, and it is revealed to be AJ Styles. Styles delivers a Styles Clash to the Intercontinental Champion. He then gets the referee, puts the referee back into the ring as Vikingo goes to the top rope. Loud boos from the crowd as he hits the 630 on Dirty Dom. 1, 2, 3. Vikingo gets the win to retain the AAA Mega Championship. This was a great match, I will say. I thought all four men worked really hard in this one. They relied on the Triple H special of run-in after run-in to bigger pops and stuff like that. So that was a fun use of that trope from Triple H here in this matchup. But I thought this was a really fun matchup. I gave it 4.25 stars. Really strong work from everyone involved here to me. And Triple H took a picture with Vikingo backstage after the show. When he realized how short Vikingo was, he started making plans for Omos to become the new AAA Mega Champion.
Oh my God.
Nope. So I just received the note. No, he will not be putting the belt on Omos because he can't see color. He meant El Grande Americano.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Yeah, Triple H making it about himself again. Not a surprise. Not a surprise.
What did you think about the four-way?
I actually liked the match. Like I thought it was the best match of the night. Spoiler alert. Maybe for me, the overbooking was a little too much for a match like this because it was a good match. Maybe that's just me. That's just my preference. Because we had Judgment Day. We had the two guys that are with Americano now.
The LWO.
The LWO, and then AJ Styles with his fuckery. Because I really thought they were gonna give it to Dom. The momentum was there, and I thought it was gonna happen. But they wanted to keep Vikingo as champion, and it's a weird situation because I generally do feel bad for Vikingo because he's a good talent. He stays out of trouble. But the fact that, this was a WWE decision to put the belt on him to get it off of El Patron, it hasn't done him favors, and it has nothing to do with him. That's management. That's complete management's call when it comes to that because, the fans loved El Patron. They loved him as a heel. Yeah. He was doing a good job there, regardless of how we feel about him, regardless of his his flaws, right? I'm just calling it like it is. The fans loved him in Mexico. The fans still love him in Mexico.
They shouldn't, but they do.
They shouldn't, but they do. They just love his work. It is what it is. I'm not going to judge the fans there. They probably just don't care. They probably just don't know. I don't know. They loved him there. So the fact that they made that decision beforehand, they're basically taking it out on Vikingo. It's not fair to the guy. It's just a weird spot. And then also I did see that there were people trying to compare like the Roman Reigns thing. I was like, nah, it's not the Roman Reigns thing. It's a lot different. There's a reason why it's a lot different because Vikingo was their champion beforehand. He was over and he was their champion before that. And then he got injured. And then, it is what it is. But for the match itself, the match was great. You know, Americano super over, mostly because he does speak fluent Spanish. So going with Kaiser, I did question it because I'm like, he looks completely different from Chad Gable. And then with Kaiser, I'm just like, what personality he's gonna add to that? Because Gable has a personality. He's goofy, he's funny, but Kaiser adds the Spanish speaking thing that got him over with the fans. That's why he's over with the Mexican fans, because he speaks Spanish. That's what got him over. And you kind of saw it firsthand. Everyone was singing along with where he was singing. He's been doing a great job. You know, because I did question it again, and I was like, damn, they did this to Ludwig. He's having fun, so I can't knock it. You know, and then Dom's super over. Oh, I was like, damn, like you would think, like, you think that would be the moment, because it was like, you got something hot here, put the belt on him, on Dom, and then hit the mask spot where he kind of implemented the thing. And then, so I thought it was going to happen. And then AJ Styles did what he did. They're still, you know, feuding. It is what it is. But overall, it was a great match. In my opinion, it was a fun matchup. Even despite of the overbooking of it, it was a fun matchup.
Yeah, I thought it delivered before the overbooking even did. And I thought the overbooking, it didn't take away too much from the actual matchup. Yeah. Chilla with Jay saying Vikingo also hasn't helped himself in the Mexican media, pretty much saying he wants to leave and go to the States. So can't do that. Don't make them mad at you, man. Don't make them mad at you. And we also got a super chat donation.
Man, it was like, how do you expect him to? Unless if he said that beforehand, then I could understand. But I mean, their partnership with WWE is like, if he goes, he could go to the States. He can still come back to Mexico.
Yeah, I like this. I've tried to explain to people that this is like a loyalist type of thing. That they wanted El Patron, despite all of his issues, they wanted him to be the champion. They enjoyed him being the champion, and then Vikingo came in, and they feel like the rich American company is the only reason that he's the champion. So, Dion, with a super chat donation, he says, "Was I the only one expecting a Del Rio to attack?" No, I wasn't expecting that. Not on this WWE produced TripleMania. No, I wasn't expecting that.
The same, and then also they already wrote him off. They gave him a send off. Yeah. He's already gone from AAA. So I didn't see it happening.
Yeah. And Chase explains, he says, talking to my one friend in Mexico, but he told me Vikingo comes off cocky in the media, and most Mexican fans view it as a circus act. So there we go. All right, we've made it to the end of AAA's TripleMania 33. Let us know in the live chat your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For me and Josh, for AAA TripleMania 33 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. I was hesitant to go thumbs up, but I will go thumbs up. I will give this show a 7 out of 10.
Same. 7 out of 10. You know, like I said, it passed expectations. How many matches they had? There was only like really one awful match, in my opinion. All the other matches were presentable. Usually for me, if I get like a lot of matches are presentable, it's a positive show.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Like, yeah, most of the matches, if it's more matches are good than bad, that's usually a passable show. So yeah, we'll give it the passing grade here of 7 out of 10. Match of the night, I'll go with the main event: Vikingo versus Americano versus Dirty Dom versus Dragon Lee. Josh?
Oh yeah, same. The main event.
He's like, no doubt. Seems like everybody's in the agreement in the chat. We got a bunch of thumbs up and 7 out of 10s. Dion says match of the night was the main event. Great Carter II gives it a 7 out of 10. Power Driver Finisher is the high man, giving it a 7.5 out of 10. We got Chiller with Chase, who goes thumbs up 7. And we got MVP for Chase is Corey Graves. So who is your MVP for this show, Josh?
MVP, I'm going to go with, I have like 2 of them. I'm going to go with Omos. Cool seeing Omos and, him winning the match too. And I'm going to give the second one, I'm going to give it between Dom and Americano, just because of how over they are with the crowd. People really wanted both of them to win. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I give it to them just because of how over they got. They were presentable. And, I think this is something that they could continue. They could continue with the Americano character. I don't have an issue with them continuing with it at all.
Especially in AAA, I think it works. It works better there than it does on Monday Night Raw. Honestly, but I will go MVP. I'll go co-MVP as well. I'm going to give it to Corey Graves, and I'll give it to Omos for the win in the Battle Royal. And then LVP for the show, I will give it to JBL and Konnan.
LVP is Konnan for me. Fuck that guy.
Fair. If because you just want to give it to Konnan, he deserves it. He deserves it. Even on the day he goes into the Hall of Fame, he's still putting up LVP performances. But we've made it to the end of another review of another show. This was a fun, easy review to do. We might have to do more AAA content since you guys enjoyed the preview. Hopefully you enjoyed this review as well. If you're watching on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about this show. And I want to thank you all for joining us live. And thank you if you're watching us on demand. And thank you to Josh for joining me today, being my co-host for the review. Please let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they shall see you again.
You can see me. You can follow me on JPunk321 on Instagram and X, and I'll be back Saturday for the next episode of the True Hill Heat podcast.
There we go. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. That's the best way to support us when we are not live here. And check us out tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. We got another review for this time, the NJPW G1 Climax 35 tournament. It concluded earlier this morning. So tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, join myself, Jay News, and Sanal as we break it all down. We're going to break down the semifinals and the finals of the G1 Climax and the fact that Takeshita saved us from evil. I get to keep my job. I get to continue talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Thank you, Takeshita. Also, if you like me and Josh talking about the Graps, you could join us on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast every Saturday. The latest episode, True Hill Heat 342, is up right now, so go over and check that out. And go over to True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, where we got our BMF Season 4, Episode 9 review that's going to be dropping tomorrow on the channel. So go over and check that out. We'll have the season finale review. That's going to be a live stream with me and Chrissy Love later this week. So be on the lookout for that as well. But for the True Jaw Josh, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. I will see y'all tomorrow on the G1 Climax review. But until next time, this has been our AAA TripleMania 33 review. We are signing off until next time.